Hey guys, welcome to my fabulous world. Here I am again. I'm talking to you from the Geneva Science and Diplomacy Anticipator Summit. It's the 2023 summit. We are at CERN in Geneva, and it's wonderful. I'm talking now to Melo. Melo is one of the 3 young people who won an opportunity to join me here at the summit. And I want to talk to him about what got him here, what he wrote in his submission, but also what he's doing. He's doing a whole lot of things, and we're here to learn. I hope you learn as much as possible. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Fantastic.
And thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me. You are Tlhokomelo. Where do you come from, Tlhokomelo?
I'm from the Vaal, a little town just south of Johannesburg.
Yeah. But you know when someone says they're from the Vaal, I'm like, Vaal River, Sebokeng, what? Like where exactly?
100%. Zone 11, Sebokeng, 016, Barake 18 Moye.
Good.
Yeah, so
fantastic.
That's all.
And you're studying at Wits?
No, I completed my studies, but I was at Wits, completed my civil engineering degree, and but I'm gonna go back very, very soon.
Okay. So when did you complete your civil engineering degree?
I graduated in 2021.
Okay.
Yes.
And what have you been doing since then?
So since then, I had my fingers dipped in so many things.
Yeah.
Primarily, though, I'm a water resources engineer at Johannesburg Water Utility. I'm also a youth advisor for the Royal Danish Embassy in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also in the communications working group for the World Youth Parliament for Water. And very recently, I'm a GESDA Summit alumni.
Good. Now, tell me, so full-time, you are a water resources engineer?
Yes.
At Johannesburg Water?
Johannesburg Water, yes.
That's full-time. Now, tell me, what do you do with the Danish Embassy? You're an advisor.
Yes.
What do? You advise them on water or on other things? You're a youth advisor.
Yes. So we advise them on a plethora of things. We're 9 in total on the advisory board.
Yeah.
The embassy essentially uses us as a sounding board to gauge their ideas and their future plans.
Okay.
So on a 3-year basis, they want to, primarily the idea now is to increase the youth voter turnout, which has been dwindling.
Yes.
A very bad sign because
in
our
South
democracy,
Africa.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because our democracy is very young, so it's a very concerning phenomenon to observe that people are already having that loss. Especially because we're a very young country, very young proportion in the country.
Yes. The youth is a majority. You're right. So it's actually a problem if the young people don't want to vote. They checked out and they think this is not relevant. So basically they have their vision as the embassy in South Africa, and you engage with them. What is it that they want to do? The projects that they want to implement and so on. That's a clever idea. That's a very clever idea.
Yeah, something that's really worthwhile, because as much as it's it's them, we're advising them, it's a bilateral interaction. So there's people who are doing...
You are growing.
Oh my goodness, that means a lot.
No, you are growing in that. Imagine, you are interacting with diplomats, Danish diplomats.
Yes.
And other young people.
100%. We were actually in Copenhagen for a month with other youth from Kenya, Palestine, Mali, other colleagues from Uganda and Tanzania. Yes, engaging in a learning program on involving youth in SDG acceleration, because we're in the decade of action. 2030 is right here.
Yes.
So we need to really gear up as a people, and not just in the continent, but on the whole world. We need to really start getting after these sustainability development goals. You know?
So if there's a young person who's sitting there, if I were there, I would be thinking, how did he get this opportunity? Did they advertise? Did they see you doing something and then they invited you? How did it happen?
So they advertised the role, essentially asking us what we think of the current state of the democracy and what our ideas are.
Okay.
So, as you'll hear, all my ideas are very water-centric.
Yes.
Because it's one of the 4 elements.
That's your area, and that's an important area for the world.
I can talk till the cows come home about water. So there's a big element in water, even in diplomacy. Water is the most diplomatic element.
Yeah.
For all of human history, not even human history, but all Earth species have had a common problem, which takes us to why I'm here. The common problem we all face is a reliable access to water.
Yes.
And, as humans have evolved, we evolved exponentially after we've not mastered because we haven't really mastered it yet, but once we've harnessed our ability to manage our water resources, then it trickled out into our food production, our energy systems, and ultimately economies. And that's why we're here today.
Wow. And that's what you also wrote in your submission.
Yes.
It was about water. And what was the solution of the future? What was the anticipation bit of it?
So the anticipation comes from understanding the current problem right now.
Yes.
So the problem as it stands is that water scarcity affects about a third of all Africans today. Today, right now. And the UN estimates that like roughly 700 million Africans will be displaced due to water scarcity by 2030. Sure. These are scary numbers, right? So when we have to contextualize them, we understand that, we can actually do things about it now.
Yes.
So there's environmental factors like climate change and our already deteriorating water infrastructure in the African continent, where we need to really optimize how we manage this very precious resource. So the idea is to use these fantastic tools like artificial intelligence and really apply them into optimizing our management systems to improve our flood or drought prediction models, to optimize our infrastructure rollout programs by using data-driven solutions. Things like this that are really in our hands. And as someone did mention that no other people in human history have had this capability. And it would be a waste if we don't really use it, especially as the youth.
Absolutely.
100%.
So the Danish embassy thing is one.
Yes.
There's the third thing that you said you're doing.
Communications group for the World Youth Parliament for Water. So water again.
How did you get into that World Youth Parliament? How did you get to that?
So funny thing about that one is they also advertised on Instagram, I think. So as part of the Danish embassy, as we went to Copenhagen, we met with a lot of people from the UN. We actually visited the UN city. We heard about the engagements. Of course, there was the World Water Week, World Water Conference in March earlier this year. So of course, there's a little bit of a focus on water now. There's a youth aspect in the Youth Parliament for Water and the South African Youth Parliament for Water under the umbrella of the African Youth Parliament for Water. So all they needed was someone to raise their hand to say, I'm willing to donate X amount of hours weekly. And it's something that I'm passionate about, so I really don't mind spending my extra hours.
So they wrote on Instagram and they said, we have this going, we want someone to donate a few hours a week to do this for us. 100%. And you wrote to them and said, hey, I'm here, these are my expertise.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's all it takes sometimes. You just raise your hand, and as a youth, we have to really take responsibility for the future. So,
But let's talk just between you and I. They pay you. They pay you, right? You're not doing this for free, right? Otherwise, I've got to manage you. I mean, really.
So I wouldn't say they don't pay you in the classical sense.
Okay.
But they pay you in that you have something to talk about. Like, look, now I'm talking to you about this.
That's a huge pay.
You know, and
I'm glad you like that, because many young people want real moolah money.
Yeah,
but actually, this which they're paying you for is going to pay you for many, many years. Because it's experience, it's exposure. You also get to know more people. And the wider the network you have, the more opportunities. Because people, I say to young people, they don't know, when we are at dinner as adults, we talk about you. Exactly. We're like, I met Melo, he's doing this and that and that. And next time, one of my friends calls me, hey, I heard you talk about this young person, blah, blah, blah. And then we go, yes, talk about, yes, can you give me their number? And people think you're connected. But actually, it's these opportunities that you don't necessarily just put money ahead, but you put other things that you benefit in the experience. So that's great. And so you in the hours that you donate per week, what kind of things? Tell me one sort of thing that came up that you had to advise them on.
All right. So one thing that's very current now is that there's the elections for the 2024 to the 2027, the president and vice president for the youth parliament.
Okay.
So in the working group, we're trying to establish a departure point to reach more people.
Okay.
Because the youth parliament shouldn't just be for people who are in the water space. I mean, water affects everyone. It affects like people unconsciously use water all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to expand our reach. We want to involve more people, get more voices, more perspectives, not just in the water space. And I think that's gonna do nothing but benefit us in the long run. So what we had to advise on was how to cater their communications strategy. So it was not that it was faulty, but there's always room for improvement.
Yes.
And when you have new voices, new perspectives, a fresh set of eyes, you can see things slightly differently and tweak it. And who knows, in just that way, it can just blow up exponentially.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you are into water. Your submission to GESDA was about water. Your work, your mainstream job is about water. Your advice to the Danish embassy is water, and the youth parliament is water. 100%. It's a very smart way to work. Right.
Concentrate your forces.
Yes, you concentrate your forces. Not everyone can do that, but you've managed to do that, which is great. Now, you are here at GESDA. What have you found very interesting about this conference? Or has it been at all?
Oh my goodness, So it's been very enriching, very enlightening, also humbling.
Yeah.
You know, to just be in this space when you think about the historical significance of the CERN dome.
Yeah.
Like these are things I was reading about in grade 6.
Wow.
My teacher was telling me about the history of all these fantastic equations, and these people got together and they shared thoughts.
Yeah.
And now I'm here around these thoughts, even putting my 2 cents in there.
Yes.
So it's really humbling for me. It's a fantastic opportunity, and I'd just like to give thanks to GESDA and for your effort in just
it's a wonderful
it.
Opportunity. Yeah.
Oh,
have you taken the tour? I mean, there's a tour of CERN. Have you taken it?
In the dome.
Or you took the one in the dome?
Yes. We just walked around.
Yes, because there's an exhibition that's there. Yeah. I was wondering whether they would be taking people into CERN for a tour, because there's a tour where you can go inside and actually see the equipment that they're using.
We're not leaving until we do that.
Find someone, just ask if it's possible.
Just ask,
if it's not possible, you've got nothing to lose. But but even the dome itself is great. The dome itself is a great opportunity. Your first time in Europe? No, you've been to Denmark.
I was in Copenhagen for a month.
Okay, and this is your second trip overseas, or you've had many others?
No, it's my second trip ever. It's
second trip ever outside South Africa.
First trip ever
outside South Africa. You've never even been to Zim?
No, not even Lesotho, and my granddad is from Lesotho, so I need to fix that though.
The Lesotho one, that's the one you must start fixing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's been great talking to you, Melo. Thank you so much for joining me, and I mean, I hope this visit to CERN and to GESDA, I hope it becomes one of your most memorable moments in your career as you move forward. Continue making connections with people who are in your area of interest, and grow your network. You have no idea what will happen in the future.
You never know, just roll the dice and see what happens.
Fantastic.
I'll keep doing that.
Fantastic. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is Melo from Sebokeng, and it's really great. I hope you learned a lot, right? But thank you. Remember, always, always, always be authentic. You do not have to mimic anybody. Go for what you are passionate about. You have only one life. There is no second take, guys. It's once and then it's gone. So go for it. Shoot your shot. As Kalonji said, shoot your shot. Go for it and do it, right? Thank you so much, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.